This is going to be a video showing my Gec model number Tel.9K.ATS. This is a clone of the GPO 706. I don't have a 706, so I can't show you what one of them looks like, what it's supposed to be against, but what the GPO 706s have to the clones, they have the alphametric dial bezel and they have GPO 706 written on the base. I don't actually have a 706. I picked this one off Aussie eBay, but I believe this may have came off the Aussie Railway, as I mentioned on my Gec 746 video. Like, the Railways have supplied these, the Gec supplied these to our railway system from England. This is made in England, it says so on the bell. This is one with the dial 12. It's a very early 1960. The case was changed though, because this is a Diacon handset. I can show that if it will show up on camera. This has number 12 written in it. There's the 12 in there. There's the dial 12 number. No, the Diacon number 12 indicator in the phone handset. But the case is ABS from this. The dial 12 is original because it's looked on the back. It's 1960. Inside, now I'll take the phone apart. So I'll see if I can get to the part without having to take the dial finger wheel off here on the camera. Get a 706 or any type of 706 cone apart. You undo the two screws up here. Then you push down on the dial and remove the case. And the case did come off. Sadly, there's no paster in here. Like some of them have pasters inside here. This one does not. This is number 17 on it, but this is not the original case, because it would have been Diacon originally, as it was 1960. But I reckon the dial bezel might be original though. I don't exactly know. We've got back over here. Now, this is inside the phone. You got the standard capacitor, and there's a few bugs in it I just noticed again. You got the capacitor. Let me get them out of there actually. I've had this cockroach problem in my house, flat. I'm not sure where they come from, but they've got a service nest somewhere. But it has the standard capacitor inside. You've got the unpainted what you call them, regulator bulbs. That tells you this is very early 60s, because if it was built in the late 60s, early 70s, that would have black paint on it, because I do have a regulator. What came out of a phone spares I got off eBay. You see how this bulb is painted black? That's what later ones ended up like. This is not painted. It's not painted, so it definitely is it didn't come with a line cord on it. I'm not sure why. Maybe the seller removed this, the person who got it from the railways. If it did come from the railway exact, I don't know if it did. Might have removed the line cord from the phone because you couldn't get the thing off the wall. But it's not been converted. I have temporarily tested this phone, it does work. It's got the regulator, it's hardwired to the circuit. But this one does have an induction coil in it, so you can hook this up to your phone without worrying about damaging the receivers. But these were never connected up to a public telephone service network. They were never connected up, they were on a private PBX. And what I was told recently, well, a couple of weeks ago, what I was told, no, I wasn't told this, I actually found it out on the internet. Southern Cross Station, in between Southern Cross Station and North Melbourne, they had a private telephone exchange network. I'm not sure if that was true, but they had a private telephone exchange network. Well, had private phones connected. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I've not seen it. But if it's true, they did have a private exchange for the railways. But I reckon it's true, because a lot of our railways would have had private exchange, because South has two phones in their station. It has one connected to a signal box operator, and one was the private telephone system. Now, I reckon these might have been used on the railways over here, because I have seen a red phone was like a 706. No, a private 706 clone in red. It's been preserved, looks good. But I'm not sure if the Indian variant of it or the British version imported, and I'm not too sure. But the way these phones wire, you put green, the green wire would have been there originally, white would have been there, and red would have been there. When you do the conversion for British systems, you order a few of these jumpers inside. But the way I do it, I don't wire phones the British way, I wire them the old-fashioned way to make it work. The way my system's built here, you've got to use the capacitor inside the phone. This phone is from 1960, as I mentioned, because it does actually no. I get one if it is, but does actually 59 stand for the type of bell, or does it actually stand for the date? But it does have 59 written in on the bell coil. I'm not so sure what that means. But not sure that means the voltage or the date 1959. I'm not too sure. What does it actually say on the regulator? Because it might have a date on there. If 61 is the date code on there, it might be 1961 because it has the 61 on the regulator. Well, yes, it's got a dial 12. It is quite early phone. It has its icon on the handset. Now I can't tell what date it is because the receiver's been updated in here. Up to a 1980s one. I can't tell by the receiver, by the transmitter, I should say. Because it would have had the old style, otherwise it was original. And it doesn't have it in it, hasn't got a date on the receiver. That is a Diacon handset, so that's a very early handset. But this is my GEC, if I remember the code in my mind, Tel.9K.ATS. Was a private 706 clone made by the GEC telephone company. Also, Plessy Ericsson made private clones. So did Pi. And so did Portugal to Make Electric made their own private 706s as well. So this is a GEC, but the number's rubbed off. But lucky enough, I've posted on Facebook of mine when I posted this. But lucky enough, I posted it before the number rubbed off. This is my private clone of a 706 made by GEC.